Okay.
Is it appropriate to ask a question right now?
Maybe after my performance. Do you mind?
Thank you.
This poem is called Klangfarbenmelodie. This is a composition technique from the serialists, Schoenberg, Webern, Berg, etc., where you distribute notes of a melody to different instruments to create a timbral rainbow. I might switch up the order that I read in, just FYI. It kind of depends on how I feel. Klangfarbenmelodie. Clock that measures the opposite of time. Ancient pixel built from half a breath. The seed of a perfect moon. Numbers don't lie because they can't tell the truth. The kindling space between a choice and its airless shadow. A polite numenon guides my dismay with the grace of email for doves, originating in silence like all eternal things. Joy-struck demon of rain. The abuelas at the bus stop look like potatoes in cellophane, the milk of their laughter. Anaisa's mirror is her palm, a plangent yellow, bones of song, tracing lines of flight. I named the electricity to the bones of my senses, and before I gazed cheerfully, I killed tomorrow to see if it fell deeper. I waited for centuries, and then I was told a slice of bread survives that I sowed into the ground but could not reach. It is not the same, but it is not different. Sometimes I figured you out, sometimes. Below, it is below. The soiled compartment needs my time, and I vomited my chimera as sick flesh turned away from me. Untitled, The Berries. Bump deconstructed post-club tracks with rebel berries who do be vibing and love the crushed up universes that form their atoms. I appear so that another might take their lit shapes, return to numberless homelands, reveal berries shaped from lightning, or a rose of doors, a stranger's breath unpoisoned. As far as my ear stretches, I wander you, because sound is not the wife of meaning. Escaping as I illuminate, moving through trees and their shapeless fruits, gorging friendlily on form, it is the forest of my thoughts where brash families of dew hang from the hollers of trees. It is only a family resemblance, nothing more. The ethic of the passerby discloses a hospitality from another planet. The berries revolt against mystery. They present me with a dictionary of their size. They want to die on a sunny day. This is called Untitled, The Birds. I'm going to read this one with no sound. The birds, priests of dust, called it. A lover is a phone with wings, not a cord. When the line goes dead, the knowing look loses the shape of each eye. There was a final dove that was not allowed to cross the rain. The illusion of you is subtle. Your tiny mother held you by a string as you gulped light, spitting it back out Bruce Nauman style, but each drop of water became a fish. When and as I lay dying, Vardaman said, "My mother is a fish," you knew he was talking about you when you cried during school assembly and said, "My mother is dead," after a harmless yo mama joke. The spirit of your ancestor who lost her parents very young had stepped in. This is called Untitled Time Poem. That the gods shrunk one of your destinies to a bile, lay it gradually before you like blood carried by wind. A choice you make, any little thing, is an infinite sacrifice of possible worlds to enrich the altar of the now. In one path, Father's word means order conquers disorder. Another path, Mother's silence, Mother's chaos song, yoked like a disciple to pleasure, possibility, the shape of memory. Untitled The Light. My revenge is a blank page, two versions of a stone castle. The last air dancer stands guard over two high thread count ghosts, fucking as I love bomb myself out of spite. Some believe that meaning is a survival adaptation. Protected by a thick ring of coriander, my sister speaks French as if underwater. As I astral project across the thin wall separating our rooms, the spirit of a hype man passes over us. The light of transfiguration on Mount Tabor, seen from the eyes of unbelievers, may be perceived as the burning fires of hell. We lay a 1-inch thick line of salt outside the courthouse. The officials weep and urinate from the windows. The city is the mind of a sick god, herself always under a magnifying glass, unable to distinguish intimacy and control. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Untitled The Roses. What is the root of images? Your dreams hunger. A doll made of spit winks. Speak. Speak. Not any language, not even angel's tongue or the language of light. I address no one, not you. I'm not speaking, and this is not the back of my face. Each center of sense in the body is a small body itself. I claim for myself my heart's androgynous nights. We could start a continent from a consonant. The words are yours, whom I do not know. For you, I am not a humbling riddle. Not a stolen mule, but flesh which will recede in a choking hurry. The prince of distances, the mad king of Bavaria, splits his lands and blots. His army of roses scrape forth in sick lust on an island of infinite thunder. Cheeks volley from the last word you never said, following it into silence. And what is a cheek of silence? Another possible bed? A string clock carrying small woes? I die, return as a grazing god, graze among all I had forgot as a person, and the ridiculous prince enters the garden of forgetting, packing his children into castrated mud. The doll's wink becomes sharper, the prince's children die, return as trees, their bark is letter, their leaves are months. Under one of them, I am pierced by an arrow of mirrors. The roses swarm and mourn. Uriya Sangitananda, whose ashram in California burned down during the 2018 wildfires, which are one of the consequences of apocalyptic climate change on the West Coast where I live. I'm also going to read this one in silence. In sorrow for the burned Sayanantam ashram, the Lilith moon of your harp, lilt and angle of aligned planets, thrum your name in concentric, coharmonic spirals falling upward. St. John Coltrane lived in your negative harmony. Conflagrated pianos blossom from your every step. Ancestors blessed you with the reverse memory, a fractal geometry of lineages reflected in abstraction, the sound of light itself. Tears fall to my feet like a wriggling bug. This bottomless well of loneliness could be a neighbor. I gently smash lilacs against my face, calling out to you, dynastic like the city inside the juca. Juca is cassava, like manioc. It's called the privilege of idleness. I call from speculation of the intrinsic, which held together what soon may sink, reverberating in a covey and subduing, recognized verdicts old to be walking. I am not eager, I am fixed in swarm, deeply and in a house I shall surge, old and beginning, ahead and in awe, evolute. Feel most alive, not a convection, but hallowed at odds, inviting and sticking. Let there be no verbs, life is a joke you cry at, awake. Delusion is a guilt for reality's only guests. Light leaves fuzzy upside down pillars in a frozen pond behind a big rock, tongues of color. Some things I do get, but most I come across. Don't ever let the last line go missing. I'm getting tired, so I'm just going to read this last one, and then I'll take the question that someone has. This is the title poem of my book, Two Versions of the Stone Castle. The strange and secret rooms of your voice. It waters its own flowers, but the flowers are tiny old men that feast on heaps of cigarette butts.